Can you say it one more time, sweetie? I don't think we could hear you. Can you try again?
My country is Iceland. Go to the Gil from Iceland.
What's the most interesting thing you learned about Iceland?
I don't know.
Was it Grilla? Who's Grilla?
She's the mom of the Yulas, which are elves in Iceland.
And what do the elves do?
Forgot.
Well, tell us the name of an elf. They have names like?
Yeah, like spoon licker and bowl licker and
Spoon licker?
yeah.
And door slammer?
Bowl licker?
Yeah, and door slammer and door sniffer
That's
and window keeper and stop wiper and box wiper and there
And what happens if you don't wear new clothes on Christmas Eve?
the little cat will try to
They'll chase you?
yeah, she'll chase you if you don't wear new clothes on Christmas Eve.
Yeah. And what does Grilla do to naughty children?
Try to eat them, but
Yeah. Good job. Good job. Her? Well, I don't know what questions to ask her, so y'all are on your name.
Our country is Germany, and say Merry Christmas in German. Weihnachten, and they use edible ornaments on their trees so they can eat them on Christmas Day.
What did you learn on this?
I learned that Christmas trees were first used in Germany in the Middle East.
Remember who decorates the tree? Who's in charge of decorating? The mom.
The mom.
Secret.
Anything else you learned that you had?
We're doing Christmas in Norway, and how you say Merry Christmas in Norway is God Jul. But it's weird because it's God Jul, but it says, you pronounce it as God Jul. And the most interesting thing that I learned is that they have probably around 10 or 12 different days that they celebrate Christmas, and here's a couple of them.
What are they?
There's St. Lucia Day and Little Christmas Eve, and then Christmas Eve, Christmas Day, and a bunch of other ones.
Each day has a specific meaning, and what do you do on a specific day? If you can tell us one thing from each of that.
On Little Christmas Eve, that's when they will go out and pick a tree and decorate it, so they wait the day before Christmas Eve to do all that.
Jake, do you have anything to add? No? All right, girls, do you have?
In Norway, they like to hide their brooms around their house on Christmas Eve because they believe that evil spirits and naughty witches will come and fly around their brooms and try to take their presents.
Brandy, do you have anything? What did you learn? What was the most interesting thing that you learned?
Tell about the pudding.
The food?
The pudding. Tell them about the pudding.
On Christmas Eve, they have a rice pudding, and they put an almond in it, and whoever gets the almond gets good luck or gets an extra present that year.
Or that they also get, we couldn't do it. I tried to locate the ingredients, but they do, they make a marzipan cake. That's like the big thing. You find the almond, you get a marzipan cake. A marzipan is like a candy made out of almond paste and sugar.
That's what we made. We made marzipan.
Yeah, and you get a marzipan cake. So. One of the fun things. Anything else? Anything else? So these are mine. We're all Vickeries, and I don't know. I've met a couple of you. And then this is Jane Peter, and this is belongs to her. We did like a little group project.
Nice.
Did you guys say Norway? Okay.
All right, Abby.
I chose India for my project because India is cool. There are over 1 billion people in India, and out of that billion, 25 million are Christians, and they celebrate Christmas. The missionaries that came to India to convert the Hindus into, or whatever religion they were, into Christians, they started schools, Christian schools. And these Christian schools, on Christmas Eve or Christmas Day, they usually put on live nativities. And all the children help, and it's really cool. Indian children help decorate their houses with mangoes, sometimes picked off their Christmas trees. And the Christmas trees are banana trees or mango trees or whatever kind of tree they can find, but usually banana or mango. They decorate their tree with little clay lantern lights, and they use big lanterns. They put them on their roofs because they're flat. They put them on top and light them every night to symbolize that Jesus is the light of the world. Every house is decorated with a Christmas star, and these stars are beautiful. They're super cool. They're like made out of paper, but they've got all these intricate designs in them. After midnight mass, usually most of them are Catholics, after midnight mass, the Indian families will come home and eat their curry dinner. You know, if they're Indian, they eat a lot of curry. And I made, instead of, because I figured not a lot of people would want to try curry stuff, I made Cool, which is a cool name. And they're really good, so I hope you all like those. And see if I forget anything.
How do you say Merry Christmas?
Oh, you say Merry Christmas poem. It's actually really simple. In Hindi, Merry Christmas is actually Merry Christmasa. So, that's it.
Good job.
I'm Ava. I chose Brazil for my project. You say Feliz Natal means Merry Christmas. And the thing I learned was that Papi Noel, Santa Claus basically, he doesn't stuff stockings, he fills the shoes of good children in Brazil. Cool! And they decorate palm trees instead of Christmas trees. And Papi Noel, who lives in Greenland, and he wears a silk suit, is what the legend says. Excuse me, what does Santa Claus from Brazil do to non-children? Does he stuff their shoes with twigs? I'm not. Wait, that is right. I learned that at school.
Wow, thank you. That's very cool.
This is upside down.
Yeah.
Yeah, I think
It's just a reflection.
this.
You all done? Let's get interested. You might not like it.
My name is Megan, and I picked my name Columbia. You say Merry Christmas in Columbia is Feliz Navidad, and the Day of Little Candles is one of the most observed traditional things in Columbia. They put out lights wherever they can be seen in the honor of the Virgin Mary. One of the foods that they eat Christmas time is what's called
Buñuela.
Guanella. It's basically a potato and a cheese ball. And then this is a panpipe, which what they play they play for an honor of the Virgin Mary.
This is a band that play panpipes and other instruments that in honor of the Virgin Mary. And okay. On December 6th, there are not many pine trees in Columbia, so they don't use real pine trees, instead they use fake trees. And they decorate their trees on December 16th. And they all candles to celebrate them on the 7th day. Christmas is not about, in Columbia, it's not about spending money or buying gifts. It's about having family time. And then they go out at midnight on the 24th, people go out to mass, and at midnight they go wish each other Merry Christmas and exchange gifts. Oh, and the food is others are made with dough and are either ball shaped or flat with powdered sugar. And children stay up late expecting to see baby Jesus instead of Santa. They write letters to baby Jesus and put them in a nativity scene. When it mysteriously disappears, that means that baby Jesus took it, and so he knows what presents to leave their beds on the Sunday.
Gwen.
Everybody. My name is Anna Berkshire, and I am in my country is Finland. Christmas is celebrated for 3 days in Finland. Christmas Eve is the main event of the celebrations. It is fixed with family eating, drinking, and distinct the sauna. It is also when Santa visits and the tree is decorated. The Christmas tree is decorated with crystal and handmade ornaments. Santa Claus comes in person, often as elves, to deliver presents. Christmas Day is spent attending church services and visiting friends. A sheaf of grain is tied to a pole with nuts and seeds and placed in the garden as a treat for the birds. A traditional Finnish Christmas dinner is codfish, boiled potatoes, cream sauce, roasted ham, and vegetables. Dessert is usually rice pudding, chocolates, and pastries. This is the Finnish flag, and Finland is right next to Sweden and Norway. They're two borders of Finland, and this is a map of all Finland's cities. And this is a little picture of the Finnish dinner tables and what they have. And here's a picture of Santa Claus and the reindeer. Oh, that's right there. Good job.
Stop.
Hi, my name is Lauren, and my report is on Sweden. Christmas in Sweden is unique and interesting. They have many Christmas traditions, such as the jewel block, a giant straw goat they build up and put in town squares and other places. It is erected over a period of 2 days and built to show the start of Advent. It is often vandalized or burnt down.
Although December 25th is Christmas for us, in Sweden, Christmas is on the 24th. The 24th is also the day Santa Claus, or Jultom as they call him, comes.
St. Nicholas.
Jultom started out as an invisible gnome or dwarf that watched over the house and its inhabitants. It is a tradition to leave a bowl of porridge for them, and if you don't, he will bring bad luck to you and everybody in the house next year. Like all Christmases, Swedish people celebrate Christmas with a Christmas smorgasbord loaded with food, such as julskinka, ham, pickled herrings, hot dogs, sausage, salmon, rice pudding, lumpfish, which is cod. The food is served with mulled wine and glögg, which is a mixture of mulled and spiced wine served with raisins and almonds. There also are candies and treats such as figs, chocolates, dates, toffee, oranges, marzipan, and nap, which is kind of like butterscotch.
We made marzipan.
Okay, Rowan.
In Sweden, Merry Christmas is God.
Spain. I choose Spain because they love to play soccer, and I do too. Throughout Spain, in the final days of Christmas, young and old wait for the drawing of El Gordo, a national lottery that started in 1716 when King Charles III began the lottery system to fund charity. The lottery is held on December 22nd and does not have just one winner like in America. It has thousands that share the wealth. Usually the people can't afford a ticket because it's $263. So people often share tickets and share the winnings. Another tradition is the naughty Yule log. Kids throughout December, kids feed the Yule logs with candies, toys, and dried fruit. And on Christmas Day, the kids beat the Yule logs with sticks until it releases the goodies. Unlike America, the Spanish wait for 3 kings instead of Santa. Another tradition is the Epiphany Parade in Madrid, where a flock of geese sporting ornaments is walked down the street. How you say Merry Christmas in Spain is Feliz Navidad, and that concludes my report on Christmas in Spain.
Merry Christmas in Australia is Merry Christmas Day, and they had summer and Christmas, and they had their dinner and lunch on the beach. The 2 famous animals there are the koala and the gator. And
So that's usually what's on their Christmas card. That's usually what's on their Christmas card. So what do they do on Christmas Day?
They go down to the beach and they have a picnic. It's really good.
And serve. What does Santa ride? Does he have reindeer in Australia? No.
Christmas in Italian. How we say Merry Christmas in Italian is Buona Fatti. And instead of having Santa Claus, we have La Befana. The whole story why she brings gifts to children is because she's always looking for Jesus. So she thinks that what if you were Jesus? If she sees a baby, she always leaves presents and baked goods. But if you're bad, she leaves a lump of coal, just like Santa Claus.
Claire, you tell something that you learned. What do they set out?
They set out.
Look to your left, behind you. What did we bring? Turn around, Clara. Tell us about
A
that.
secco. This is the secco that we made.
Just tell us what's important that they put on the bottom shelf.
What's
Is it the nativity scene?
we always put in the
And what did they leave out, though? We couldn't take it out of ours, but they leave out something until Christmas Eve of the nativity scene.
They don't put baby Jesus in the nativity set only until Christmas Eve.
That's right. And what do they refer to them as? Do you remember? Not a nativity scene. Sometimes they refer to them as a crib scene.
A crib scene.
That's right. And they get very elaborate. Can you give me one more thing, Clara? Look on the board. Tell me something else about maybe the food they eat.
What?
Look at the
What they
pictures.
eat for dessert is panettone. Is what they eat for dessert.
What is that?
It's a cake. It has raisins in it.
Very cool.
And what they have 12 meals, but before the Christmas they don't have before they have the 12 meals they don't eat anything for one day for 24 hours. But the next day they have 12 meals for the 12 disciples, but sometimes 11 because Judas decided to not follow Jesus anymore. But they usually have 12 meals for the 12 disciples.
Because our family is from Ireland. And how you say Merry Christmas in Ireland is no lag Shauna dit. And their Santa Claus, well, like Saint Nicholas, doesn't get milk and cookies. He gets beer and pies. Okay, the Irish tradition for Christmas Eve, Christmas lasts from Christmas Eve to January 6th. It's more religious than it is about presents. Christmas Day swim. Some people in Ireland go outside and jump into the freezing cold water. They think it's fun. While some are nice and cozy in hats and coats and watch them from the shore. The Epiphany Feast, or Little Christmas. Women get the day off from work and chat together and sew. It is on January 6th. The Irish people leave their door unlatched. They do this as a symbol of welcoming Mary and Joseph, who needed shelter. Midnight Mass. Most people in Ireland go to church at midnight on Christmas Eve. Santa. Santa gets a treat of mince pies and Guinness beer. St. Stephen's Day. This is on December 26th and is also known as Boxing Day. It includes the Wren Boys procession and a football game. Wren Boys procession. Children go out and carry little sticks that have a fake wren on it. They play music and ask people for money. Santa. In Ireland, Santa Claus is called Santa Claus. He works in Lapland, or the North Pole. Santa must come very late because most Irish families go to midnight mass before setting out mince pies and Guinness beer for Santa Claus. For Irish children, Santa puts a big pillowcase full of gifts by the end of their bed. Any presents too large to fit are left unwrapped under the Christmas tree. A mini competition of who can wake up the earliest goes on among the kids. Food. An Irish Christmas dinner is very similar to ours. The Irish have a turkey or ham, green beans, or other hearty vegetables, stuffing, and gravy, just like in America. Some things they include that we don't are a Christmas goose, spiced beef, and lots of potatoes, roasted, baked, boiled, or mashed. The Irish do not forget their sweets either. The women of the house bakes a special caraway seed cake especially for each person in the house. There are also mince pies, Christmas cake, Christmas pudding served with brandy butter, rum, and brandy sauce. Sounds like a great feast. And then this is their decoration they set up. This Irish Christmas candle was a sign of hospitality and welcome for Mary and Joseph, who were looking for shelter.
Netherlands? Netherlands. Relique.
And this is like around the world. Those
Good.
were animals. This is what's cooking, and we got shrimp, fish, and all their stuff. Did you speak my language? This is how they say Merry Christmas.
What did we make, Gwen, for our treat, our snack that we brought?
Mostly what you guys made with the
Marzipan.
marzipan and
And Gwen.
I mean, like that with this. Marzipan is mostly made of sugar.
Gwen, when does Santa Claus come? What day? Do you remember?
Santa Claus.
December 5th?
December 5th.
And then they also say that Santa comes on when? When does, because Santa also visits them when? On Christmas Day?
Everybody knows that.
Okay, good job.
I'm going to speak for David. It was kind of cool. We decided at the last minute to do the United States because we figured on the list the United States wasn't on there. We figured everybody else picked some very cool countries. And David was like, nobody probably picked it because we all know the traditions of where we live. But what was fascinating was all these states, they had some highlights of different customs and different foods that are kind of traditions in those parts of the United States. I'm going to have you just stand right here while I read some of them. So, for example, in Baltimore, up here, Baltimore, Maryland, it says that they serve sauerkraut with turkey, which includes apple, onions, and carrots. Does that sound good to anybody? Mm-hmm. You like sauerkraut? Yeah, you know what sauerkraut is? You like it? Yeah. Good for you. You're a Southern boy.
Rowan, sit down.
All right. In Philadelphia, they have a procession called a Mummers Parade that runs a whole day with bands, dancers, and people in fancy dresses. Anybody heard of the Moravians? Sounds Moravians. It's a Christian group, but they have these unique big stars. Do you know what I'm talking about? Anyway, it's popular in Pennsylvania, and a friend of ours was we just were at a party over the weekend, and they had a big star that was all different shapes out on their front porch, and they said that they have relatives that are Mormons. I'm probably misspelling it or mispronouncing it. But anyway, they build a landscape called a putt under the Christmas tree, and so that's part of their tradition, plus this big star thing. And they also, in Pennsylvania, there are Germans that give gifts. Gifts are given to them by Belsnickel.
Put your hand
Tax them with a switch if they misbehave. So there's all kinds of unique things. In Pennsylvania, there's a town called Bethlehem, and a star is lit early in December, so that's a tradition they have there. And then in North Carolina, there's also some Moravians, and they have love feast buns that are faintly sweet bread of flour with mashed potatoes. I'm going to have you sit down. I'm going to have you sit down.
Gwen, just wait.
Sit down. In Virginia, they have a dish that is oysters and ham pie. Does that sound good to anybody? Yeah. Oysters and ham pie. How unique. Louisiana, a treat is some Creole gumbo, and it can include ham, veal, chicken, oysters, shrimp, and crab meat. And they also have a huge ox that is paraded down the streets, decorated with holly and ribbons tied to its horns. Anybody seen that?
No.
Before? No? In Arizona, they follow a Mexican tradition called Las Posadas. Families play out the parts of Mary and Joseph, searching for some place to stay, and they form a procession and visit with their friends and neighbors and homes where they admire each of the family's nativity cribs. And so there's some really cool things to do, and then we're just going to let you guys read on your own if you want kind of the history of kind of Christmas in the United States and before the Civil War. And then it was interesting about the tradition of Santa Claus. that Washington Irving was an author, and he made a big impact about the Santa tradition in the United States. But we know also as Christians that what's the main focus of Christmas in the United States? Jesus is what? His birth. That's right. So we celebrate his birthday, and our ornament that we did for the United States is a what, David? That we did for the United States is baby Jesus on hay, sitting in a manger. Yep. And so
Do you
there's
have
people that celebrate both Christ's birth and then tradition of Santa, and then some people that just do either or.
Do you have the information on there about Christmas being canceled in the U.S.?
You know what? I don't know that I have that on there. This was a.
Do you know about that though? That's an interesting fact. Not a lot of people
Tell us
know.
about that.
Well, I don't remember the time period because I'm really bad with dates, but Christmas was actually the Puritans, because they didn't celebrate birthdays and stuff. They actually did away with Christmas for many years. It wasn't until it became like a federal holiday that it started being celebrated again. It was basically illegal to celebrate Christmas in the United States. I want to say it was like the early 1800s, I think. So, yeah, you can look it up online, but it was, not many people know about that.
How long people had spent